Dear Thay, dear Sangha, let's start with the three sounds of the bell, so we can come back to ourselves. And for those of you online, please welcome. Please use this time also to as a kind of reflection meditation time, to be at your computer on the screen, but also be there fully. So I always suggest those online to have one screen on and find a nice place so you feel comfortable. I can't say that for those who are driving. I hope you're not driving. But those who are at home or in a place where you can find a comfortable spot, use this time to also, as a reflection, as a meditation, which simply means doing one thing only and being present with that thing. So now you're choosing to come online, so that takes priority, and not to do side work while you're doing it, because that will only just fortify your habit of doing many things with your mind and not being fully present. So we'll start with three sounds of the bell, and for us here in the hall, we can do that to check in, to see if we're here, we're really here, or if we're somewhere else, we use our breathing to check in, to see the quality of our presence. Same thing with those online. Just use this time, whether you hear the bell or not, you can come back to your breathing. You can close your eyes and not look at the screen, and just come back to your breathing and be aware you're breathing, and be aware that you're alive. And in this moment, there are people logging in. They're a little bit everywhere around the planet, especially on the continent of America and the continent of Europe. Some of you might be calling in from Asia. Just be aware that we're all breathing together. Breathing in, I know I'm alive. Breathing out, I smile to life. Dear Thai, dear Sangha, thank you for showing up. Just wanted to do a shout out to our brothers and sisters behind the tech team. Okay, last minute, to make this possible. I know they have to do a lot of the running while we come up with crazy ideas, and to make this online as well as in person. So just some of you know, Sister Dee and I and a number of brothers and sisters had a chance to travel back to Vietnam and to Thailand to participate in some of the events, especially the 1-year memorial of Thay and the Great Precepts Transmission Ceremony. And so we were very lucky. We thank the brothers and sisters at Deer Park for allowing us to go, as well as we had a few monastics who were taking the precepts coming from Deer Park. So that just gives you a little bit. Everything okay? Yeah.
Nhờ sư cô Hương Nghiêm dịch giùm cho chúng.
She's okay. We're just checking translation. I think this is being translated into Vietnamese and French. So we felt very inspired, at least myself personally, and Sister Boi Nghiem and Sister Dee will be joining us to share as well. Felt very inspired from our trip to be able to be back in Vietnam, Thai Root Temple, where it kind of all started for us, and why we're here, and why Deer Park is here, why all our centers, why Plum Village is there, is because of the seed of a young monk in Huế at the Tu Hieu Temple. And then also traveling to Thailand to see the most, it's like one of our newest center. Thay called it the nursery center. Mầm non hả? Gì đó? Trung tâm gì? Vườn ương. Số rồi. Mầm non là cái gì hả? Well, it means nursery. So Thay envisioned the Thai Plum Village Center there as a nursery where you produce monastics. So it is the vision of our teacher to all our monastery to actually give that choice to people, single people who want to live their life out and choose the career of being a monastic. So that's our experience there. So it was 1 month in Vietnam and 1 month in Thailand for some of us, for me personally. So this morning we're going to share about our trip. Mainly I felt inspired to, I felt so nourished, and I wanted to give back in gratitude on what I experienced and some of the things that touched me. So I think that's inspired me to have more confidence and conviction to help Thay realize and to continue his vision for our community, our multi-fold community. So this morning I'll go through the slideshow really quickly because there's a lot of slides. I try to weave as much as I can. Some of it is there, most of it in blocks so that you can get a feel of it. And with that I will also be sharing about some of the slides and some of the segments. And then Sister Dee and Sister Boi Nghiem will share afterwards more. Mainly focus, our presentation is on how it moved us, what touched us. So, but I thought it would be nice to show slides and to kind of share what's going on. And that's also another intention of mine. There's a lot of us in the last year who have been following the ceremonies from Thai's cremation, even before that when he was sick, right? So this is like almost 3 or 4 year following our teacher and his process. And so for the last year, going through that, and I felt like wanted to share a little bit what it all means for us as a human being, as a practitioner, as where it fits in our society. So that's also my intention, because a lot of us follow, and I read some of the comments, and I was very moved by some of the people who followed online, some of the events. So that's also another intention, is to help. And if you have any questions during the slide presentation, please type that, and our tech team. I felt like our tech team will take those questions, and we can have a few questions at the end of the presentation. I think hope that makes it clear what you're going to go through. Please put on your seatbelt because you're going to go through a lot of slides, and hopefully they can nourish you. So here our idea, the vision here is roots and branches, and that's the intention. That's how we felt the trip was, for us to come back to the root, which is in Vietnam, in Hue, in the Tu Hieu Temple. And then going to our Thailand center, which is for me like the branches, to see how much they are flourishing, and then how much the ceremony that they put there was very, legendary, monumental. I couldn't believe they organized such an event with so many people coming. I think about 700 people at the Thai Center for that great transmission ceremony. But it's because they also celebrated the 10-year anniversary. So they, well, anyway, I'll go through the slides. But that's the intention, to share some of our roots and our branches. And we start off with what do you call it? Before we had the ceremony, the memorial 1-year ceremony, we gathered the brothers and sisters to have a sharing about our teacher's life. So we gathered there in the Tu Hieu Temple, and many brothers and sisters gathered to share about what moved them about their relationship with our teacher, kind of celebrating his life. And it was in the evening, and many Vietnamese people came there. They stayed at hotels, they stayed at other temples to come and join us. It's quite ad hoc. And along with this tour of this memorial celebration, there was two sisters, Sister Dang Nghiem and Sister Boi Nghiem, also organized for like how many lay friends? About 30. Yeah, about 30 lay friends, international, to come and be part of a tour for 1 week. So they started off being in Hue for the memorial. So it was nice to have an international presence. And this is a procession to begin the ceremony. We had many high venerables come to pay their respect for our teacher. And this is our own Yak Quang. He was very instrumental in helping all of Thai's trips. And through those trips, he's also become very close to our community, and always guiding us and helping us maneuver through the Vietnamese to cooperate with the Vietnamese, the country, so we can come back. And many venerables came to be part of to support. And a lot of lay friends from all over the country came to also support. Very beautiful. And we have some of our lay friends there from the international Sangha. We started off with the ceremony. And here, this is the first part of this memorial ceremony is so all the monks and nuns in the Plum Village tradition, we are on our knees in front of the altar and is paying respect to the Buddha, our ancestor, before we head into the hall where Thai's altar is and offer a meal. So the ceremony, Tiểu Tường, is a 1-year ceremony, is a kind of ceremony to a process of mourning in the human psyche. So when someone passes in our tradition, and I think some of you have been following, we have many periods. First, after the cremation, we have every week we offer food, and every 7 days there's like food offering, and then 49 day is another moment. This is adopted from like the kind of Asian Chinese ancestral worship tradition. So that's it's in the Vietnamese culture already, and it's our way of dragging out the mourning process, acknowledging it. So I think that's something very beautiful for us in the last year, for us to go through our process. So you can see some of the monastics and some lay people wear this yellow tag on there. It's called a Tang.
Memorial pin.
It's like a memorial pin. And that's to remember that we're going through a mourning process, which is very beautiful. And it doesn't have to be always a sad thing, but it's actually celebrating their life. So that's what this 1 year memorial is coming together and honoring and reminding ourselves of Thay's life and continuing, as well as offering a meal. It's also like you cook Thay's favorite food and we offer that. So after this ceremony, we will move into the hall to offer that. Sister Dee, you can jump in anytime, okay? So this is the Tu Hieu Temple. This is the main Buddha hall, and it's been renovated since Thay was there. So all the wood there is redone exactly as it was. So I was very impressed with the background architecture. I was very impressed. They took pictures of everything, and they redid all the wood and everything as exactly as it was. And Phap Dung was our eldest there, so he held a kind of a prayer above his head to honor our ancestor. And then we moved from there, the Buddha hall, we moved from the Buddha hall to the meditation hall where Thay's altar is. And this urn here with the incense, I heard it symbolizes kind of like the spirit. Like, so that's why you see monastics always lighting an incense when they want to call up someone. And so this is, in a way, a symbolic of Thay moving with us into the hall. And we had two venerables from Korea who was instrumental in helping Thay come to Korea in some of his trips. And we've been to their temples as well. And they came to show their support. It was very moving for a lot of us to see high venerables from other traditions come. And so we gathered in the big hall. I forget the name of that hall, but the full moon meditation hall. And as you can see, so in a way, the monastics, Thay's disciple, are considered his children. So we are coming, and then these high venerables and all the monks coming to give the ceremony. And this is the altar of Thay.
With his favorite flowers.
Yes. This all these things that we do. When someone you love, you do their favorite thing. You put their favorite flower. You cook their favorite food. It's just ways to express your love. So part of the mourning process is doing as if they were alive. So that's something we can learn in our culture. And some of the venerables offer their incense. Sister Chang Kong. And as you can see, Thay's favorite dishes. I think probably there's a mare soup in there. And I see soy. And then we do prostration. And here they're chanting, and then we also review Thay's life and what he's part of the chanting to, to call out some of the things that Thay had done to remind us of our direction. And then we offer tea for Thay. And so in a way, in this tradition, in what I learned is that in the Buddhist tradition, we try to, in the part of the mourning process, we actually do these rituals and ceremonies to actually pretend and really slowly see that they're there with us. So making their own cooking for them, offering tea for them, and feeling their presence. So in a way, transitioning to that. So not a loss, but a new way of them being in our lives by our memory. And just a side note, Sister D, myself, Sister Boi Nghiem, many of us monastics who look Vietnamese, we grew up in the West. So this trip to Vietnam, and every trip that I've been back to Vietnam, I am on a research trip. I'm always like learning, why did they do this? And what is important? I grew up with a lot of this stuff, but I didn't understand its spirit, its nature. So I think that's something we can all learn from, how these rituals and ceremonies play out in our lives and can inform how we deal with death of loved ones and so on.
And this venerable is one of Thay's younger brothers in the Dharma who's still alive.
Yeah, he's the brother of the late abbot of the Tu Hieu Temple, Chi Thang. And all the lay friends waiting out, participating from the outside. We had some, I think, from different country. One from France, and the other one is from South America, I think. I forget their names.
He's German.
German. So it's so lovely to see our international Sangha. I saw a lot of their faces, but I forget what retreat or what center I saw them in. And then, so that's the end of our session in Vietnam. And then we move into Thailand. So I'll go quickly through these. A lot of, and Thailand was beautiful. Also, these same venerables that were in Vietnam, like a week later, they all traveled to Thailand. And we were quite surprised. And so here they are arriving. They travel on a bus for almost 20 hours on the bus to go from Hue to Thailand, through Bangkok to Pak Chong.
Or from North Vietnam to
From
Thailand.
North Vietnam.
Yeah.
And here's some venerables coming. This is Ông Yak Quang, see the one who is leading the ceremony. And I just so moved, you know how busy these venerables are. They all have like many temples and many disciples, but they still come to support Thay and to support our community. And Sister Newman sister is always there. Anything that the Plum Village organized, she will show up. Như Huy and Newman, huh? Yeah. And you can see some of our brothers in the background from Plum Village, France. Beautiful. She taught me how to make a dish, chả cầu, when I was a novice. So she's been around since over 20 years and more. And so they all gathered there in the big hall, and we pay respect to them to express our gratitude for them to show up to support. And yeah, it's beautiful because it was almost equal number of venerable monks and venerable nuns. And many young monks came this time because Thailand was having a 10-year anniversary. So they invited many monks, young monks and nuns, wanted to come to be part of that 10-year anniversary. So this is the beginning of our precepts transmission ceremony. And here, what you're seeing is a gathering outside and inviting, usually the beginning of a precepts transmission, we honor the precept. The precept is from the Buddha, like the founding teacher. So those two precept books, one for the nuns and one for the monks, are on the altar, and we pay respect to it, and we ask to bring the precept from the Buddha altar back to the meditation hall, where we will transmit it to the new novices. So that's the meaning of this ceremony, this beautiful, moving. This is the seed of where I felt so, God, I wish everyone knew how we do this ceremony and how much like reverence for these two books. What do they symbolize, you know? And I was like, it's just two books, but what they symbolize is actually the precept and the Vinaya and all the teachings that has transmitted down through many generations, many hundreds of years. And so for me, it's like, you know, like you put, you know, before a sports game, you pledge allegiance to the flag, right? The flag is just a flag, but it symbolizes something. And hopefully it symbolizes the good and the valiant. But here the two books, the Vinaya, symbolize our precepts, the monastic precepts. Without it, the monastic order does not continue. So this is what the beautiful ceremony represented. As you can see, on the left or right side, one side is the nuns with their precept book, and on the right side, the monks with their Vinaya book, the Praktimoksha book. And we gathered there very early, 5 o'clock. And just to let you know, in Thailand, they wake up at 4 o'clock. So it was quite interesting. Because everybody wakes up. So this is morning rising, the light, in this beautiful land. This like snake of yellow moving through a line of lay friends, standing beautifully with their palms. I think all the venerables were very moved. It was all quiet. There was no drum, no noise and stuff. It was just beautiful morning, hearing the birds. And you can tell all the Western brothers and sisters, because their heads usually stick out. Yeah, I just hope you get a feel of it, how moving it is to show so much reverence for the precept. So we're bringing it back to the hall. Many high venerables came, and they are like the precept transmitter. They will be the ones. Every time we gather for a precept transmission, we need to gather a certain number of high venerables, and to have 10 kind of not medium venerables to be witness, to make the transmission valid. And many, same is for the nuns. So this is the transmission. I call it like the court. It's like, all right, show up. You want to receive it? It's very beautiful. And you're lined up between all these venerables who are sending you their support. Sister Chang Kong there. And they first receive the precepts, And after receiving their precepts, they are transmitted the Sangati. The novices have a Sangati, but it's much simpler. It's like one fabric, and now they receive the three full Sangati. I'm showing you these pictures, and I don't know if I'm supposed to be showing it to you, because usually there are no lay friends in the hall while this is happening, but I thought it'd be kind of nice for you to see. So these Sangati is, and when you receive the precept, you become a full member of the community. It means you become a bhikkhu or a bhikkhuni, and now you participate and you have a kind of, I guess, a vote in the old days. You're part of the community, and as a novice, you can express your view. But when it comes to making decision in terms of direction, practice, retreats and stuff, you can only share your view about it, but you're not part of the meeting to decide. So that's what the significance is. And here you can see some of our brothers. One Mandir there from Deer Park, and
we had 19 brothers who received the full ordination and 39 sisters who received the full ordination.
19 and 39. 39, yes. Usually that's the proportion. The sister double, always. So we're doing good. Don't try to catch up. It's always double. And of our brothers and sisters who didn't understand Vietnamese, they had simultaneous translation in their ears, you can see. Rung, I forget his name, Rung Phap, I think. Brother from Bulgaria. And now they receive the precept, and they receive their alms bowl and their sangati, their robes. And here we're transmitting to them. Symbolically, the robe is like there's a poem that says, "Don't, you don't."
How beautiful is the field of merit.
It's a symbol as our protector. It's a symbol of our precept. So our robe is that. The bowl is the symbol for our humility, because the bowl there signifies our dependence on lay friends and lay support. Usually you go into the city and you beg for food, and in exchange you share some of your advice, some of your teaching. So the bowl symbolizes kind of like your dependence on the others, on society for your subsistence and that connection. So in a way, it kind of is a very beautiful, these two items, what they represent.
Those are the sisters.
These are the 39 sisters. Sister Dang Nghiem guiding them to come in to receive the precept. And here they are receiving their Sister D transmitting the Sangati to one of our sisters. And many sisters and brothers from Vietnam who just organized a huge memorial service had to come. So there's a lot of I'm sure they're pretty tired, but they still came to help us. There's quite and them receiving their bowl and reciting their gatha. The bowl also represents to eat in moderation. Yeah. Mm. There's a gatha we recite. And here's a combination of, actually this one is all brothers. who just received. Some of our sisters. Oh, part of the gathering in Thailand, there were two things that I don't have slides for. Is also a transmission ceremony. We had about 16 brothers and sisters who received the lamp. So that was also another flourishing, the new branches, the new Dharma teachers, as well as the 10-year anniversary, which I don't have slides for much. And of course, many, see, you can tell which ones are from Europe. It's so beautiful. She's, I forget her name, but she, about over 10 years ago, she came in when she was only 14. And she was attending, she called Dang Nghiem, running around. I was like, I can't believe, you're so young. In the West, that would never happen. 14 years old, and she really wants to be a nun, and she's still there. Like, probably been in the community for maybe over 10 or more years. Huh? And now she received her for ordination. I think you have to become 18, right? Yeah, you have to be 18. And this, many families of our brothers and sisters came to support them from Vietnam. And it's very nice because in Thailand, to go from Vietnam to Thailand is very easy. You don't need visa. You just take the bus and you're there. So many parents were able to come. And I just want to say that in Thailand, it's become quite a gathering place for Vietnamese people. They have 3 or 4 retreats, and they're constantly having Vietnamese people there all the time. So it's a little Vietnamese community in the middle of Thailand, kind of like in France. It's a little bit like that. And many of the parents, I got to hear their stories. Some of them are very supportive of their children becoming monks and nuns. Some of the sisters and...
But many monastics, they had to run away from home in the beginning.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. I guess I wouldn't have a picture of them, yeah. Unless some of the stories of some of the monks and nuns who they had to hide from their family, it's quite a drama. You can make they had to leave their loved ones, their girlfriend too, and oh boy, you can make a Korean drama out of it if you, it'd be a hit. Yeah, it's so beautiful to meet some of their family members. So because they came for the 10-year anniversary, we also had a lot of time to hang out with them in the tea area. And it was very lovely to... Because they'll come up to you and they're like, I love you, talk to you, we know you. And we're like, who are you? So it's very beautiful. You can feel their love for monastics. And this is the whole gathering of our Sangha. And that's the end of our branches and the end of the slide, I believe. Yes. So I'll leave it there. Thank you for, I hope online, did you see that okay? Yes? Wonderful. Thank you for joining us. Now I can see you. Stop scaring. I hope you were nourished by that. I think let us listen to one sound of the bell. Whether you hear it or not, know that we are breathing together, and this is a happy moment for those online and those who are here, that our teacher and all our ancestral teachers has transmitted this practice all the way down to this very moment for us to breathe consciously and know how precious it is just to simply be alive and be grateful. Thank you, everyone. I think we'll move now to more of our sharing from our heart and what the trip meant for us. I think I'll ask Sister Dee, I guess, share with us, what moved you, what you learned from the trip, and Sister Boi Nghiem also joining us online. I believe we have Sister Dang Nghiem here as well, but I don't know where she disappeared to. So anyway, we will kind of do it more ad hoc style here. So I just want to hand it over to Sister Dee, who also joined us for both segments. Yeah.
Dear beloved Thay, dear brothers and sisters, dear beautiful spiritual family, I know you are there, and I'm very happy and grateful. When Thay was still alive physically, he used to tell us about one of his dreams. And in his dream, there was a lot of laughter, a lot of joy, and Thay asked his attendants, "What's going on?" And the attendant said that brothers and sisters are coming back from afar, and now they are cooking their meal and having a meal together. And Thay said, what joy it is to be together, to come home and gather like that. And truly, after Thay passed away, and for me to be in Vietnam, especially for this 1 year memorial, I really touched deeply that happiness from being together. Although our teacher passed away, and it is a sadness that we all feel in our heart, but we also know that Thay is there in our daily life. And when we gather together, like in Vietnam, we were just happy, so happy to see each other, to know that we are still there, we're still in the Sangha, we're still doing together to continue Thay's vision and dreams. And it brought a lot of joy. And to me, it was also very special because it brought about reconciliation. In the past, I might have some difficulties, conflicts with some sisters, some brothers or something. But trips like this, when we see each other, all of those things, they just don't mean anything. They just vanished. And we were just happy to see each other, to hug each other, and to see that Thay is continued in each one of us, and that we would do our best to support one another on the path to be worthy of Thay's continuation. And I remember at the holidays retreat in Deer Park at the beginning of this year, 2023, and a couple came up to me after 2 days of the retreat, and they said, the man in his late 60s, he said, Thay taught us that the Sangha is his continuation, but I never really believed in it. And after Thay passed away, I lost all my inspiration. But being here, I really believe now that the Sangha is Thay's continuation. And he was just crying. His wife was crying. And he said, thank you so much, brothers and sisters, for making this a reality, for giving me this faith. And I was crying too, and it was this deep happiness that we felt that the Sangha is able to continue Thay. And for me to go to Vietnam and then to Thailand, I touched that deep gratitude like our lay couple, just to feel that our brothers and sisters everywhere in the world, particularly in Vietnam and in Thailand, that they continue to practice diligently to carry out these ceremonies. And the venerables, the most venerables who came to these ceremonies in Vietnam and then to the Precepts Transmission Ceremony and the Lamb Transmission sessions in Thailand, they also had sessions to share with us. And the first and foremost message they always said was that they felt a lot of concern. What would happen to Plum Village when Thay passed away? And now they really see that the Sangha is able to carry Thay forwards and to be able to come back together for Thay's memorial service from all different countries. That nourished them a lot. Children coming home together, being in harmony together, and to be able to have the Precepts Transmission Ceremony, that is something so essential on our path to transmit the precepts so that the younger generations are able to have a direction, to have very concrete practices to realize peace and freedom in their daily life. So for me, it also touched me very deeply in Vietnam, where it's much more traditional, where the monks would spearhead all the important ceremonies and would organize all of them. But Thay has revolutionized all of the practices and bringing gender equality into all of our practices. And Thay had planted these seeds in these venerable monks and nuns who have been in the tradition for 40, 50, 60, 70 years already. There was the transmission master on the sister side. She's already 93 years old. When she walked, she had to have 2 attendants holding her on both sides. But when she transmitted the precepts, her voice was so clear and so powerful. And there was this venerable nun, another one who was 79 years old, and she walked up to touch the earth before all the venerable monks and nuns, and then she walked out through this very long hall, stretch of the meditation hall to bring in the orderlies, to walk them in. And she was 79 years old, but she walked so gracefully. And it just brought tears to us, just deep gratitude for these venerables who have practiced all their lives and that they are able to be there for us. It is not in the tradition of the Vietnamese people to have the nuns to be present in the transmission of the monks' precepts. But Thay planted that seed. Thay made it happen. So now Thay is not alive. But these monks and nuns, they help us to carry it on to make it possible. So that was deeply moving for me. So when in the transmission ceremony, the monks and nuns were always, the fully ordained monks and nuns were also fully, we were present for the whole time. And we also made it available for the lay friends to view it, to view the beginning of the ceremony. But because the hall was so, could not even accommodate all the monks and nuns, there were more than 400 of us. So we had a large tent outside so they can watch on the screen. But truly the multifold Sangha was there to witness, to give support, and to celebrate these events. And for me, that was just deeply inspiring and moving. And for the Lamb transmission sessions also, on the brother side, we have Thay Phap Nghiem. And on the sister side, Sister Dang Nghiem, who has been a student of Thay for over 70 years. And although now she's a little weaker, her energy is still very amazing. Walter, who followed her to video art activities, he could barely keep up with her. So Sister Dang Nghiem was there to also to transmit the precepts in English, and also to transmit the lamb to the sisters. And we also have Sister Dang Nghiem, who's one of our elder sisters, to transmit the lamb to our sisters as well. So there was 16 brothers and sisters who received the lamb. So all of these activities went on, and it's very, not especially Plum Village, because in Vietnam, they only organize a precepts transmission ceremony in region, like in the north or center or the south. So it requires the high venerables to organize this, and for all the temples to come together and all of their ordinees to be ordained at the same time. So you may have 100 or 500 ordinees to receive the full ordination. But Thay has made it possible that Plum Village is able to organize these transmission ceremonies by ourselves. And now our young brothers and sisters mainly organize these transmission ceremonies. And then we invite the high venerables, because most of them practice for more than 40 years, and they come from mainly from Vietnam to be there to be the transmission masters and to witness, to bear witness to our practices, as well as the lamb transmission ceremony. It is something very rare in Vietnam. A teacher will transmit this lamb to very few of their disciples, like their top of the cream.
Actually, the Venerable Yak Quang, he shared with me, traditionally in Vietnam, it's only the teacher and one of his favorite students. And usually it's like a relative, so it's very in-house.
Yeah.
So Thay's revolutionized it in
Thay made it possible that that we can organize lamb transmission ceremonies, and we transmit the lamb to our monastic brothers and sisters, as well as to our lay friends who have practiced a number of years and who have demonstrated the maturity in their practice and in their service. So that is something very empowering for the venerables to witness.
The venerables, that's one thing he admired in Thay opening up, is that usually lay friends are not in a teaching role, and they always support monastic. But Thay has turned it very democratically to allow lay friends, and they also have insights, and they can also teach monastics as well. So this is something that he was impressed with. That it's radical, actually.
It's very radical. So 2 more points I'd like to share that deeply moved me was that after Thay, before we had the cremation of Thay, we had, I think, around 40 aspirants being ordained. And some of them were aspirants online during COVID time, but actually some of them did not go through the aspirancy process. When they heard about this grace, this opportunity to ordain, some of them who've been to the monasteries, they came and begged to ordain. And so they were ordained. And that also gave us a lot of joy that Thay continues to give blessings to the young people. And since then, about 3 months ago, there was another ordination for the young people. So young people continue to come into the practice, and I had conversations with them, even consultations to some of them. And I find that young people coming to our practice, since Thay was sick and now that Thay has passed away, they come to the practice not so much because of Thay anymore, but because truly of the practice, because of the Sangha. They are aware of the suffering in themselves, they are aware of the social issues, and they aspire to find a way out for themselves and for society. So they have very deep aspirations, and they aspire to receive the authentic transmission and also to practice with authenticity, so that they can help society. So to me, that's about the roots and the branches. The branches really resonate with the roots and bear those deep aspirations that Thay once bore as a young monk. And just the last point I want to mention is about the wisdom that is built in these ceremonies. For me, all of my loved ones who have passed away, I've never really had any, attended any funerals. I never really processed their passings properly. And that included first my mother, who disappeared, and then my grandmother, who passed away when I came to the US, and then my uncle, and then my partner. And now that Thay has passed away, and for me to attend all of these ceremonies, I see that they are built in to help us to face the loss, to mourn properly as individuals and as a collective. Because in the West, we may feel very alienated and fearful of death. We're so far removed from it. Most of us, we pass away in the hospital, and there's this attitude of moving on, of going forward. But it's because of that, it's actually stuck, and we are not able to process the loss, the grief, and we ourselves cannot live very deeply, and as we fear death. And so these ceremonies, for me, I see it helps us to be together, to reconcile, to touch deeply the lives of our loved one, and to see that our loved one is continued in our relatives, in us, in our friends, and we come together to celebrate and also to aspire to live more beautifully. If there are certain shortcomings, unresolved conflicts with our loved ones, then we learn to practice to resolve them, to heal for them. And there are beautiful qualities and talents, then we also aspire to continue to deepen them in us and in each other. So I cherish these ceremonies as a chance to do all of that healing and transformation, and so that we can be together and to build our strength and solidarity. So I'll stop here for now, and when you have more questions, we'll go into it deeper. And I'd like to invite my sister, Sister Boi Nghiem, to share more from her experience. Thank you, dear, beautiful family. Thank you for being there.
Maybe listen to the sound of the bell before we hear from Sister Boi Nghiem, calling in from Magnolia, I believe, or maybe at home actually, in her family, also in Mississippi. So let's hear one sound of the bell.